Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Open Door. Today we are talking to James Screeton about fermented teas, exploring the avenues from a TCM perspective of health and wellness, and specifically on the topic of teas and fermentation. Welcome, James.
Hello, guys. Yeah, thank you for having me on here.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
No, it's awesome to be, given we've chatted so much kind of over Messenger and in various groups and stuff, but to kind of have a back and forth conversation, it's...
So how did you two meet? Was it during...
You were not in Edmonton when I was there at Neil's. No,
I just voted in the online chats mainly, and
yeah. We've had some great back and forth in the Red Jade chat group, and I've always been impressed with James's depth of curiosity and the level of detail that you're always sort of like looking for. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the martial arts, and that's my background is the martial arts, and I've got a bit of a enough background in herbs and herbology from healing myself of candida and various other things that I could tell that James's background was really, really solid. And then he mentions, the connection to TCM, and then a few weeks ago we were listening to this podcast on gut health. And one of the individuals on this podcast happened to be really into fermented teas. And I remembered that James had mentioned something in the Red Jade chat group. And I was just like, wait a minute. Let's interview this guy.
And I wanted to know more about it. It's something that I'm interested in. So
it's one of those simple things like you just do not think about it. It's like, well, tea is just tea. Like, how can it, what's the point?
Because what I would like to know personally is, like, I know tea, right? Tea leaves and you brew a tea. So what is the difference? I guess, like, what's a fermented tea? Like, what is that exactly? Are you able to explain that?
It's, well, like if you made kimchi or anything else, it's adding either sort of like nutrients, sort of sometimes yeast, sort of good bacteria, sort of mushrooms as well can sometimes be used, like kombucha. I can't remember the name of the mushroom.
Right.
That's mixed in to ferment it. It's just letting it air, or sometimes it's put in a complete airtight container and just letting it sort of preserve and sort of age. It's almost like making alcohol, but it's the tea leaves instead. Like if you go to Korea, pretty much anything and everything gets fermented there.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Like fish, all sorts of little insects will get fermented, and it's sort of a very popular thing. They use various, do it in a very controlled manner, but
this then, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. This is basically a controlled aging of the tea leaves, letting the natural enzymes begin to break it down to give it, that sort of, funkier flavor, if you will.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got a bit of a sort of, it's almost like an earthy flavour. It's like, especially sort of the pu'ers and like oolong semi-fermented, and it's just got that sort of depth of flavour, but with it, you get a little bit more caffeine because I can't remember the exact chemical breakdown, but the process just enhances caffeine. And you can take any type of, you can get white teas, which isn't as common to ferment, but you can get mainly green teas or what we call black teas, what the Chinese have called red tea.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Which is...
Oh, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I say it's worth mentioning especially in the West, they have generally Indian tea, which is more of a darker in colour, and whereas in China it's more reddish, their black tea, because it's a slightly different variation on plant. And whereas it's been bred for very quick in the tea bag over here, so you just put it in hot water, it just explodes with sort of flavour and powder.
Wow.
And whereas sort of the Chinese, it's a slightly different strain of it, and especially the soils, the growing temperature, the climate, the cultivating
mineral content too from the soils and the evaporation cycle and all that.
Yeah, there's so much what can change just a slight bit of the flavour. And so I mean, all the different areas of China have their own teas, and
many
the
varieties of tea in between India and China are just mind-boggling.
Oh, definitely. It's one of the most, I think one of the coolest things I've done with tea, it's slightly off topic, but it's still a cool. Was at the temple when I was in Wudang, and I had a few tea bushes.
Okay.
So we decided it'd be a good idea. We'll just got some of the young blossoms and some juice and just picked them early on, threw them in the courtyard out to dry, and just made our own white tea for the day.
Cool.
Was,
very cool. That's like literally as
nice.
fresh as you can get it.
yeah.
Like,
Dry it in the morning, have it in the afternoon. It was
wow.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Very cool.
yeah,
Way different than going to the store and like buying a
Yeah,
box of
no
something.
kidding. No kidding.
How yeah. I think that would be really neat because the freshness of it, right? Because by the time a consumer buys something at the store, it's already been, we don't know how long it's been sitting.
Yep. Or
right?
how it's been
long
processed.
It's been or how it's been processed even. Yep. So having something fresh like that would be completely different than what you buy in the store. So
far out. Very cool.
The villages nearby made green tea, so we'd often just buy that and sort of get it thing up. But yeah, just to go and pick around. It's one of the things where you probably not get the chance, and being a bit of a tea enthusiast, it's one of them things you can't really.
Oh, can't pass up. If you have that kind of opportunity, oh hell, I mean, heck. My grandma on my mom's side, proper Victorian lady, would have her tea at 3:30 and her scotch at 4. But her selection of tea that she had, and when we go actually shopping for tea, and especially after I got my driver's license, when I was over there, we'd always, if she was out, she would go and get her tea, and she was meticulous about the size of the leaf, if you could actually get it fresh, unpackaged, because she had a collection of tea balls where you'd actually get the loose leaf and steep it yourself and have it that way. And that's what I grew up with. So instead of just having, the tea bag in the restaurant kind of thing, I actually grew up with understanding how even the size of the leaf that you get when it's dried could affect the taste, depending on where the leaf was actually from. Again, how old it was, how long it had traveled, et cetera, et cetera. So, like I can, I'm just like, part of my tea brain is drooling here, just imagining the fact that you actually had access to fresh tea in China when you were there, and you could just go to the next village and buy it too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I brought kilos of the stuff just from the local village. I think about 10 kilos, some to give to sort of friends. I've got a couple of my acupuncture tutors I gave and brought them as gifts, and a couple of other friends who are new, and a lot for myself. And yeah, I know I had a 20-something kilo allowance on my way back. And the good majority of that was tea. It worked out so much cheaper than buying the extra baggage. It was cost.
Because it'd be actually pretty
it cost me £10 to post the majority of my belongings home.
Right.
So I just posted all my clothes and all the heavy, bulky bits, and just literally bought a bag of tea home. It was a few kung fu clothes, a few bits, and
cool. So do you buy them? Was it bought in sort of bales, like little?
Some of them were. It was basically people just have big sacks of sort of sealed up things. Just kind of going to shop, you'd have to taste it, point. For me, it was a lot more pointing and trying to discuss time. My Chinese was next to nothing. And in random towns in China, their English was non-existent. We used Plek a little bit, but it'd just be a case of I just tried ones I liked, I just bought.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's a big neat experience.
That'd be a food tour.
Yeah, that's one of our things. We got food we have tours. A bucket list of places we want to go in the world and just try food or stuff.
Just
that's our would be a dream vacation.
Yeah.